Here's what Warren Buffett really says about index funds. Recently, I made a video saying it could be a big mistake to just buy VU, and I got bombarded with angry comments telling me I was an idiot. Their claim was that Warren Buffett said you should do that, but is that what he really said? Let's take a look.
In my view, for most people, the best thing to do is to own the S&P 500 index fund.
Well, sounds like he did if you take it out of context, which many people do, but that's not really what he's saying. There are two reasons Warren Buffett recommends S&P 500 index funds. Here's the first one.
I don't think most people are in a position to pick single stocks. A few maybe, but on balance, I think people are much better off buying a cross-section of America and just forgetting about it.
Okay, so what he actually said is that most individual investors should not buy individual stocks and would be better off in an S&P 500 index fund. On that, I very much agree. Now, what he did not say is that no one should ever diversify internationally. No one should ever buy small caps or emerging markets if they're looking for higher upside potential, or no one should ever buy bonds if they're looking for downside protection. I stand by my statement that you'd be hard pressed to find any investment professional that says you should only buy VU no matter what. Certainly, that is not what Warren Buffett says. Here's the second reason he recommends the S&P 500 index funds. Someone asked him if passive management was dead, and this was his response.
I think it's better advice than people are generally getting from people that are getting paid a lot to give other advice. You don't make a lot of money advising an S&P 500 index fund.
So what he's saying is that you should be skeptical of people who might be incentivized to put you in high-fee products with the claim that they can beat the market. Yes, that's sound advice, albeit a little outdated. It's something to be aware of, but most advisors these days charge a fee that doesn't change based on the investment product they recommend. So they don't really have an incentive to sell one thing over another. The important thing to take away here is that when he recommends an S&P 500 index fund, what he's really saying is that he believes in passive management, not that he thinks people should put all of their money in the S&P 500. So again, we're aligned. I'm aligned with Warren. I never said you should avoid index funds. I said that a single US-only index fund wasn't the right solution for everyone. I think he'd agree. Actually, he makes some important points to caution against doing that.
You can bet on America, but you have to be careful about how you bet, simply because markets can do anything.
That's the basic point of my other video. An investment in VU is a bet on America. After all, the S&P 500 is constructed to be representative of the US economy, and VU tracks the S&P 500. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does make sense to be careful. Do you want to put all your chips down on the US? I don't, because you never know what can happen. And like I showed in my other video, there have been multiple decade-plus long flat markets in the US. In my opinion, diversification, whether into international or small caps or bonds or whatever, it depends on your objectives, is a good idea for most people. Even if you want to bet on America, it doesn't mean you have to bet the farm.
I tell you to bet on America. I caught a huge tailwind in America, but it wasn't going to blow in my direction every single day, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
We've just had another huge tailwind in the US over the last 15 years. Like he says, no one knows what will happen tomorrow, but it's unlikely it will continue to blow in the US's favor forever. He also makes this important point.
If you can't handle it psychologically, then you really shouldn't own stocks.
On this, I 100% agree. In a nutshell, what he's saying is that investing in stocks, including S&P 500 ETFs, requires a long time horizon and a mindset that you're not going to panic sell when they're down. Not everyone has that mindset, and you can often do yourself a serious disservice by putting all your money in stocks if it means you'll buy high when it gets comfortable and sell low when it gets scary. The market may earn 10% per year on average over time, but there's a good chance that your returns will be much lower than that if you sell out of fear when the market is down. Investing is a way to achieve your personal goals. There isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. So when he says that he recommends that people buy S&P 500 index funds, he means different things at different times. Sometimes he means as an alternative to paying high fees in an attempt to beat the market. But what he never says is that everyone should put all their money in an S&P 500 index fund. So I hope that clears things up on what Warren Buffett actually said and gave you some more context to what he said. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, if you found this video interesting, not interesting, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you want to continue the investment conversation directly with me, check out the link below to my free Discord And let me just end by saying thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.